Good afternoon, passport holders. Today, June 23rd, 2017, day 966 of the vlogs, and it's a bad news, good news thing here today. The bad news is that I didn't get over to Ben and Kamie's in order to do sheets and towels, get all that stuff cleaned up, and the reason for that is a good news piece. I actually slept. Slept until 9:30 when the construction downstairs continued. They finished up around 10 o'clock, and so I went back to bed. Slept for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And so that kind of put me in a position where, like, it's kind of this weird situation. The next piece of good news is that the situation relating to all of the cash that I've been trying to move into my personal account finally got sorted out after 2 weeks. I was doing some stuff weird and wrong inside of the way that I was filling out online forms, and as a result, payments weren't actually being processed to me. So in the end, finally today, I now have cash in my account, which is a huge relief for me because I was freaking out about it. And the bad news side of it is that as a result of the fact that I couldn't do certain things over the last couple of weeks because I didn't have the cash on hand, I spent a bit of money today. Had to buy my contacts for the next 12 months, had to buy blackout curtains because I don't want to chance it anymore regarding light. Since I already have a curtain rod here, since it was supposed to go up on this window, which I didn't put up for a couple of reasons. But it is one of these things where I could do it, so I did it. They'll be here today is the kicker. Amazon has a fulfillment center about 18 miles away. Apparently, the 3 items that I put into that package all are in there, and so they'll be delivered by an Amazon representative or somebody working with their Amazon kind of Uber style delivery system sometime this afternoon. So super excited about that. I'm about halfway through Daily V 253, and then I also split off and sent up 254, which is a 12-minute episode. Clintus's episode 13 minutes, 1908, 1909, something like that, has also already been sent out to the outsourced captioners. They're working on it. My anticipation is that I will either be able to get completely done dependent upon the outsourced captioners work by the time I go to work, or if I don't, I'll be able to get it done as soon as I get home. Not scared of taking all of this on and getting these things done. In fact, I already have, as I jumped out of the shower, I looked down and saw that I got a notification telling me that the second half of today's Daily V is already in my inbox. So hopefully I can get second half of 252, 253 done, get 254 done, and then get Clintus's episode done, and that'll clear me for effectively 24 plus hours if I can do that. So that would put me in a really good spot. I've got some studying that I need to do because today is another test day, and today is all about numbers, which is my strong suit, but it's numbers in an app applied in a way that I'm not super confident about. It's a bunch of price lists, pricing tables, and things like that. So I've got to do some work on that and make sure that I can pass this quiz, although it doesn't really matter because all that matters is the final. But this quiz I do want to continue to do well on because the lowest score that I've gotten on any of them so far has been a 94%. I would like to keep that going. Hope you guys are having a great Friday as this is being recorded, a great Saturday if you're watching on day of release. Let's get this one started.
This is why you don't leave things in cars in Arizona, because they melt. And this is actually when you're pushing it back together. Dumb Cade fail.
Daily V 253 done. I just got the second piece back for 254, so I'm going to put that all together and do that while I was eating lunch. That'll clear me of Gary's stuff for the weekend, I believe. I don't think he's going to be releasing any long-form content this weekend, or at least I hope not, because I really don't want to do it. And I don't even want to pay the outsourced folks to do it. I just want a couple days where he's not producing content, but we'll see if that comes to be. I don't expect it to happen. I suspect that he'll come out with something in the 40 to 60 minute range because he always does. Obviously you can see that I went and got my training manual and stuff out of the car and noticed that, my spiral deal completely melted in the sun because I am a dumbass who forgot to bring it in last night. So vlog's all edited, uploaded. I just got to do final little bits on that, and that's going to be kind of the afternoon, I think. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, the only other news is that my battery on my laptop seems to finally be completely dying to the point where I may not have an option. I'm going to try and nurse it along for a couple of days, see what goes on with it. But it is consistently showing as red and showing a replace soon warning on it, which is the first time I've seen that. Like, it's been yellow at certain times when it gets like below 30%, and then it goes red when it's under 20, and that's standard. But now that it's red when it's at 100, it's kind of a bad sign. So I don't know what I'm going to do regarding all this, because I really don't have the cash to buy a new laptop right now. So I'm kind of figuring out what I would do in the event that it completely fails. We'll see, one step at a time, but for right now, let's get the vlog stuff done and I can start to study. Daily V 254 and Clintus 1909 both finished, so I am super pumped with that because they both came back. As I was doing the Daily V, Clintus's captions came back, did the line leveling, did final review, all little niggly changes, things like that. Speaker identification primarily with the Bevos and spelling their name correctly was the problem in this file, because this is a new captioner who wasn't reading the documentation. So I'll point that out to him via email, and just ask him that he take a peek at the glossary of terms and identification of speakers, because it does matter. It makes it more work for me, but then again, that is why I do all of the QA right now. There is a plan in place that in the event that something changes or I gain a couple of new clients, that I would actually pass that off to someone else who I trust and who I know can learn based off of, they've already read the documents regarding each individual channel that's still a client, and the rules and regs and everything else like that, in addition to the process documentation that I've already written regarding the internal tools that I have built. So super pumped about that I am done working on the captioning front for the next at least 24 hours. So I'm excited. It's just about 4 o'clock now. The vlog's all up and live, so really all of the major things that I normally would get done over the course of a Thursday or Friday are done now. Now it's just a matter of studying up for this test, transposing all my notes into my flashcard app so that I can do that tonight, because I need that for the game that we're playing, I guess. Like, we have like a big review game day, so we'll do that. And I think at work we're gonna do a couple of mock calls kind of situation. So I gotta study this stuff, and I'm not really pumped about it, which is why I've been putting up like every other piece of work, including chores and phone calls and all this and that. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Alright guys, just after 6 o'clock, and I'm going to go to class and get all this stuff taken care of at work, so I'll be back here around midnight. I'm not going to take the bullet cam with me today because I want to listen to the back half of that podcast that I wanted to listen to and did not finish because my drive was not long enough yesterday, which was a good thing. Alright guys, coming up on 3 a.m. at this point, and let's recap. Went to work, had my quiz, did well on that. Scored a 94%, which seemingly is my lucky number in all of this. Away from the first test, that is the test that I've gotten on everything that we have tested on. We played a game of Jeopardy, and I did pretty poorly under the pressure. That stated I was working with 2 other individuals, and that got me to second guess myself a number of times. Additionally, it is very clear, given the Jeopardy style rules, that they are looking for exact answers, which again is this rote memorization thing, which is just driving me crazy. That stated, since I came back here, I've been watching Game of Thrones, just kind of doing a catch-up. I don't know if I'm going to watch every episode or what. I'm 6 episodes into season 1, and I'm just kind of like playing through it my own way, I guess is the best way to describe it. I'm not expecting myself to catch up before the first episode of the 7th season, but do I think I could potentially catch up before the season finale, the series finale? Maybe. And that's the reason why I'm doing it the way that I am. If I haven't mentioned, it's already 3 a.m. now, so I think I may sneak in one more episode and then go to bed. I've been studying kind of in between scenes that I kind of really remember because of the first time that I watched it. And I think I finally have devised a couple of pneumatics and a couple of math equations in order to help me really figure out, because there are 2 big grids, 2 big complex grids that I really have to remember in order to understand the products and services that they're providing, and that I'm being tested on Monday. So with those in place, it should help tremendously in order for me to recall everything else. Again, rote memorization is one thing, but having those key tools in place to help trigger memories and trigger recall will be worthwhile. So I've got those down now. I've done them 4 or 5 times. I'll do them 4 or 5 more times each day this weekend in order to really lock this information in, because it is super important that I pass this. Given the conversation that we had in class today, it sounds like that I'm the only one in that classroom that is not at risk of failing the test. You need an 85 in order to pass. With my test scores being as high as they have, I apparently am the only one who is not at risk. But we've seen me choke on these things before. We saw me choke tonight. So now is the time for me to kind of triple down and make sure that I get that high 90s that I would like to get. That stated, if I am the only survivor, and remember, there are only 6 people in this class, if I am the only survivor, that is a weird situation. I don't know what they're going to do. I think that there's a very high likelihood, if I am the sole survivor, or even if there are 2 of us, that they'll flip us up to days in order to join the training class that started this week as well. I don't know what that looks like, because I can't foresee that they would keep a trainer's full schedule down on nights for another month. Would part of me love that level of attention and assistance? Absolutely. That is the reason why I'm here. Learning the sales training process and having that kind of one-on-one attention or one-on-two attention in order to really just make me strong on this, that's the reason why I'm here. That, and then the repetition of inbound call after inbound call after inbound call, and then the outbounds on the back end, getting me over that fear, getting me over that hump. So that stated, my test scores have been consistent. Apparently this has been an issue inside of the training department about how this class is performing, and my test scores say that I am not a problem in my trainer's situation. That stated, I have had a huge head start above everybody else in here, obviously working at GoDaddy in the early days of my career and having my master's degree in a technical field. So it is what it is, but I still got to remember all 60 plus exact terms, and then the associated triple downs for pieces of the products. So I've got my work cut out for me this weekend. It's not going to be a party weekend, I don't think. So we'll see kind of how it all goes. But as always, thank you so much for your time and your attention. I appreciate them both. And remember, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still, so go do cool stuff. Bye for now.